Hi everyone, it's Adrienne with Good Dental Media, and I'm here with Jim Sieg. And Jim is just an old connection through our past lives. Have worked in some corporate settings and have always worked well together. And I noticed that you're on a new business venture in the dental industry, and I just thought it'd be fun to bring you on and chat about it a little bit today. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Adrienne. Good to see you again.
So as I see in this logo, very nicely done in your background, it's called CE Guide, and in the dental industry, I think a lot of people need guidance when it comes to CE. So I love to learn more about what you're doing and how we can help get the word out. So tell me a little bit about CE Guide and who that's built for.
Sure. Oh, thanks for giving me this platform.
Absolutely.
CE Guide was, yeah, it was developed out of an interest that I have in CE. I've been in the medical and the dental field for a couple decades, and a lot of that involves continuing education. And it's just something that I really enjoyed working in and got the opportunity to work for a large dental company handling CE at scale for them. And we did a lot of it, and I just enjoyed it. And I decided that it was time for me to start my own venture and working with clients to help other speakers and companies offer CE for themselves.
I mean, we're all aware that this is a very strenuous process. It's probably I remember in the past having to renew our CE with AGD Pace in the past, and it was one of the most dreaded times of the year. And I know that that was something that you did for companies that you worked for in the past. So you became very well versed in it. So I think it's great that you're now able to help other companies with setting this up for themselves and also providing credits too, correct? So
Sure.
I understand that there's two different ways that you're able to help with CE. Um, so why would a company choose the option CE managed for you versus CE managed by you?
Yes, those are two distinct pillars that I wanted to be able to work in. And one is the CE managed for you is there's a lot of educators that are experts in their field. They might be an implant specialist or a hygienist that has pioneered a new technique, or for whatever reason, they are a specialist in that niche. But that doesn't mean they are a specialist in CE compliance. And there is a lot to it. And so some of them want to stay in their lane and deliver CE, but have that process managed for them of how to gather the information, how to make sure the presentation is fully adhering to all the guidelines, how to make sure that there's the process on the back end of delivering the CE. And that has to be archived for a long period of time because and I would like to even go back to what you brought up at the beginning about that this is a long, arduous, or a pain process, I think is what you called it. And there's a lot of people, I'd love to get rid of that stigma because there's a lot of companies that have gone through the process and it was a big pain or so for them. But after working in the industry for as long as I have in the CE industry, I realized there's a need for that process. And I respect the process because clinicians' licensure relies upon the CE and really patient healthcare, patient safety depends on quality education. So there's a reason for that rigor in the whole process. And what I tried to do with CE Guide is to try to remove some of that stigma of it is a big pain or it's a burdensome because there's ways to grease the skids and remove that friction. And I've tried to do that to make it work for that mobile, that educator that is flying. They're in meetings, they're in airports, and they don't have time to
Right.
print things and scan things and email things back. I've made it a very mobile friendly type of environment. And that's going back to that who is CE Guide managed for you for that speaker that just needs the whole process done for them. They are going to teach, and we will manage that whole entire process in the background for them.
So if they have, say they have an audience, a doctor goes, they do their course, and then do they provide the list to you, and then you send out the certificates for them? And it's,
Yes.
do you set it, does it come from CE Guide or would it come from the actual doctor? Do you have the doctor set up to provide the credits?
The actual certificates, I could have it go either way. I could have it the way I have it set up. It is the CE guide is delivering the certificates on behalf of the
Right.
educator, but we can work with them to make it however the outcome that they want.
Right. And it's good because you understand all of the guidelines and criteria and compliance, correct? So
Mhm.
you know that you're doing all the right things before
Right.
you
And
are issuing those credits. I definitely wanted to
yes,
make that clear.
yes, there is a striking amount of requirements. Everything is so well thought out by the AGD. They really have done a great job and for foreseeing every possible nuance. And there's a guideline for it. And so just by following it, it's easy to do it right, but you have to know and stick with those guidelines to do it right.
So
Um,
true. So true.
yeah.
Okay, so if in your opinion, say we're doing like a webinar, what do you think? Do you think that it impacts the attendance on lectures that have offer CE or webinars that offer CE versus ones that don't? Do you see an impact on that?
We sure have seen that at the companies that I've worked for in the past on the where we were offering it at scale and offering webinars weekly or at least monthly webinars or multiple webinars. There were times when we were pre-CE in startup companies, and then
Right.
once we added CE, we definitely did see a pickup, a significant pickup. Now I I'm very stuck on claims and like to I don't have a controlled clinical trial to offer a statistic or a claim on that, but I do have third party feedback that I've got from other event planners in the space that we both know that have seen and claim a doubling in attendance after from before to when they after they added CE. So again, that's anecdotal and not a controlled
Right.
clinical trial
I mean, I
per
can say
se.
from
But
experience doing webinars in the past as well with clients all over different specialties, same, same.
yeah,
And I,
it
I
is.
did I
And it's
did
not that.
notice too that the more clinical content definitely had to have CE attached to it, and that seemed to help with the audience attendance as well.
Absolutely. So there's CE Guide managed for you, as we talked about in the speakers.
Right.
But how does that differ? I get asked a lot, what is the CE managed by you? And
Yes.
they are very different. And for a company, I believe it is it's good to start off having it managed for you because you don't know all of the systems and haven't set up all of the architecture throughout your system for approval. And there's a lot to it at a company. It's not just getting the content approved by the educator. There's oftentimes we've got to go through the legal process and have legal approve it. We need the executive team to approve it. We need the brand team to approve it. We need the marketing team to approve it, the sales team, and that whole infrastructure layer of an approval workflow is difficult and challenging, and there's conflicts. And so all of the departments need to understand the guidelines and how that continuing education is education and it's not promotion. So it can't be a big commercial. And so some companies want to offer CE for a promotional presentation and it's not well received by the audience. They know when they're being sold something versus when they're being educated on something.
Right.
And so that is one of the requirements that must be adhered to. The two pillars, the pillar one, where CE managed for you, that is a speaker that needs their content approved for CE and everything delivered. The challenge for that from a company standpoint is the time frame to turn around because they need to submit that content 6 weeks before their event. And that is not time for a big company that needs to pivot and maneuver. They need to know how they're oftentimes building their content right up they're building the plane while it's still taking off, and the presentation is in 15 minutes, and they're still working on their deck. Well, that doesn't work with the CE managed for you because that has to be completely approved in advance and finalized. And so when a company is better off doing a few, having it managed for them, learning the rules of the road, and then after that, migrating to going through the process to become certified themselves. And I do help companies get set up that way. And that allows them the comfort and flexibility to scale, add a course next week. Let's do this. They don't have to have it all planned out 6 weeks in advance.
Right. So if they're working with you to provide the courses, there's a structured timeline in regard to when they provide that information to you versus if they have their own that you can help them set up, but once they have their own, they're a little bit more lenient and flexible on when they're providing it and how often,
Yep.
I would assume as well. So, and it's unlimited, right? Like it's probably a one-time fee, get them set up, they're good to go.
Yep.
And then you hand it off to somebody internally that can handle those things. And I'm sure they can always ask you to help if it's needed, but it's
Oh,
nice that you're
absolutely.
able to set them up and get them going for sure. So I would
Hmm.
say if a company is wanting to get their own company accredited and set up and go through the whole process, they could ask you to consult with them to get them good to go. Make sure that all of the boxes are checked. And or if they're a lecturer and they might have like a lecture coming up or a webinar coming up and they just need a quick way to provide credits to their audience, they can also ask you for that as well.
Absolutely. And just as a little detail right in there, the word accredited, it seems so benign and easy, and a lot of companies might not realize that is something that can't be used. That word accredited or accreditation is not allowed because they are not, nobody is fully certified to perform a surgery after watching a webinar. So they are not accredited to do anything. They are smarter, they've learned something, but that word accredited or accreditation or certified or certification, those are little nuances that many don't, they need some training to realize that those are not AGD compliant terms or
Oh,
ADA PACE.
okay, good to know. So getting C credits doesn't mean you're accredited. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
See, and these are things that, your services can really help with because people just, there's some companies out there just flying by the seat of their pants and they know they want to provide credits, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah,
So I
gotta
love
get in the
that.
weeds.
Yeah. So I love that, you have the knowledge and expertise that you do. So if a company needs your help right now, where can they go to contact you and reach out?
TheCEGuide.com has the website that
TheCEGuide.com.
answers.
Okay.
Yep, the CE Guide. Or it's also, I have a LinkedIn company page as well, CE Guide right on LinkedIn. Just type CE Guide, not just CE Guide on LinkedIn, and it'll take you there.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm
Yes,
really
thanks for
excited to
having
learn
me.
about all of the things that you're doing, and I'm sure there are plenty of educators and companies out there that need your assistance. So reach out to Jim, guys. Thanks.
Oh, thanks a lot, Adrienne.